Hey guys, it's the Coaster Battleman here, bringing you an awesome video. The top 10 roller coasters at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, and I know last video I showed you my video schedule, and for the weekend it's going to be back-to-back videos for today and tomorrow. So this is going to be the top 10 roller coasters at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. First off, with Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, this park, ever since 2013, they've gotten 3 new roller coasters. They've gotten Iron Rattler, Batman the Ride, and now they're getting Wonder Woman Gold Lasso coaster. It's like this park is getting more attention than a ton of the Six Flags parks. They're constantly getting massive additions. They just got a water coaster in 2017. Now they're getting a true roller coaster, Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster for 2018, and it looks awesome. But I'm not going to tell you what spot it's at right now. You'll just have to watch the video or skip through it to find out. So we're moving on to number 10, which is Kiddee Coaster, and this is literally a kiddie coaster. This is probably the worst name you can possibly get for a kiddie coaster, because it's literally called Kiddee Coaster. So now everyone knows it's a kiddie coaster. So yeah, this coaster is just really good for the kids, and it's not meant for much for thrill seekers. So, moving on. Number 9 is Roadrunner Express, and this is one of the best mine trains out there, even the best mine train. It works around the quarry wall and uses the terrain to its advantage. It goes over Iron Rattler, as you can see here. It's a very good coaster. It has some pretty good turns, a nice long ride time. It also can hold 1,800 riders per hour, 1,800 riders per hour. So Roadrunner Express, it has a great capacity, and it's a very nice family coaster. Overall, it's a nice coaster at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. It's pretty solid, but not as good as number 8 and higher. So number 8 is another family coaster, and it's Pandemonium. Despite being a clone, I love Pandemonium coasters. These are very fun rides, in my opinion. You're just spinning and spinning the whole time after that lift hill, and you're just going through several turns spread throughout the ride, and it's a very fun experience. Overall, I really do enjoy Pandemonium at Six Flags St. Louis, and I would probably enjoy this version at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. Number 7 is Boomerang, and this is the Vekoma Boomerang of the park. You know, it's just your typical Boomerang. And overall, it's a decent coaster. You can go forwards and backwards on it. There's your traditional vertical loop and cobra roll. You transfer through those twice, so you basically get to go upside down 6 times. You already knew that. This is the Boomerang. We're moving on to the next coaster. It's Goliath, and you could say I could rank this higher or lower depending on your standpoint, because I've heard that this coaster isn't the greatest B&M invert out there, and it's one of the worst Batman the Ride clones, is what some people have said. Like Ken, the coaster fan, his opinion, he said that this coaster wasn't that good, and it was kind of a rougher B&M invert, unfortunately, but it's still better than a Vekoma SLC. It has your intense inversions, intense first drop, and overall a pretty forceful ride despite its short ride time. It's still a decent coaster, but this coaster isn't as good as the next 5, and it's not as smooth as probably these next 5. Number 5 is Batman the Ride, and this is the second newest coaster to come to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, and it's still fairly new. It just came out in 2015, and it was the first ever SNES 4D free fly. It was one of a kind for just one season until all the Jokers came up for the next 2 seasons, for 2016 and 2017. And I know riding the Joker at Six Flags Great America, I can get a fairly good ride on Batman the Ride. My opinion, I really did enjoy the Joker at Six Flags Great America. I really enjoyed the flipping And I'm sure Batman the Ride has some very fun flips throughout the ride, and it might be even better than the Joker with its theming, because I know the Joker had some decent theming. Because I know Batman the Ride has a well-themed queue line, so overall I think Batman the Ride might just be the best SNS 4D free fly coaster out there, despite being a clone now after just one season of not being a clone. It's been a clone for the past 2 seasons and will never be one of a kind again. So, number 4 is Poltergeist. So this is a Premier Rides launch coaster. It's a spaghetti bowl model, and I've ridden the Flight of Fear clone at Kings Island, so I know what this ride is like. So this coaster has a pretty fun first launch, a cobra roll, and several other inversions and turns spread throughout the ride. Overall, this is a pretty decent ride experience, pretty fun. And definitely that launch is the best part of the ride, and that final inversion is also a good part. Even though this coaster is kind of jerky, if you can get through that, you will love this coaster. So, number 3 is Superman Krypton Coaster, and you could say this is the second best ride in the park or the best, but in my opinion, I think it's a little overrated. A lot of people say this is the best floorless coaster, but I disagree with those people. I think Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando is the best. But this is still an elite floorless coaster. This is still a great ride. Very good vertical loop. The first drop looks awesome, and this coaster interacts with the quarry wall. And people have said this coaster is one of the best color schemes out of any coaster with its red and blue colors. So it's a very appealing coaster, a very nice picturesque ride, uses the terrain to its advantage. Overall, it's a very good coaster, and I think it's definitely the third best coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and part of their new Big 3 once 2018 comes around. So number 2 is Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster, and I'm hyped for this coaster. I really hope people say this is a great coaster and definitely the best coaster or the second best coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. And it looks really, really good. Despite its low capacity of 8 riders per train and 3 trains running, so that's kind of a bad capacity. Despite the bad capacity, this coaster layout-wise looks awesome. It's going to be a first-of-its-kind RMC Raptor coaster, so it's going to have a 90-degree drop, some insane inversions, 3 insane inversions, some bank turns, airtime hills. It's going to be pretty similar to Iron Rattler in my opinion, except it's not going to be a hybrid. It's going to be a built-up steel coaster, and I think this is going to be an amazing coaster, definitely the second best ride at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and this will be the first ever park with 2 RMCs, because this coaster was announced before all the other Six Flags parks announced. If one of them were getting one of these, they would probably open at the same time, so this would be the first Six Flags park to get 2 RMCs total. But number 1 is the original RMC to come to Fiesta Texas, Iron Rattler. And it's not the first ever RMC. But this RMC coaster is awesome. Very good first drop, great inversion. That 0G roll looks awesome. There's some intense airtime moments and bank turns. This coaster is relentless. Even though it may not look like it in the POVs on some parts of the ride, this is really a relentless coaster. And definitely the best coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. So that was my opinion on the top 10 coasters at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Do you guys agree with me on this? Do you disagree? Post your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.